Detroit basketball. Yo, I am hyped right now, bro. What a game. I hope everybody who's watching has got a chance to actually watch this game tonight, man. This was a thriller, man. This was crazy. So let's get to it, man. The Pistons win their third straight game on the road tonight against the Sacramento Kings in comeback fashion. I'm gonna be real, man. I didn't think the Pistons were gonna pull this out. As the game continued to progress, it just seemed like every time the Pistons would try to put together a run, the Kings just had an answer. You know, De'Aaron Fox went wild tonight. Even without Domantas Sabonis, you can still see the Kings are still a solid basketball team. They're 13-17 overall, but I think they're a little bit better than that. I think playing in the Western Conference kind of factors into that. But they're still a solid team, man. And De'Aaron Fox is a handful, and we're gonna get into that. But as far as the Pistons, man, they just kept fighting. The Pistons just kept fighting. They had a very tough shooting night tonight. A lot of shots that they normally make just were not falling tonight, but they stayed with it. Their defense, their effort, their will, they kept believing they could get back into the game, they could make a run, and they were always within striking distance for most of the game, but they just couldn't seem to get over the hump in that second half early on. But late in the fourth quarter, man, they pulled it together. They got some shots to fall. They continued to play tough defense. They just stayed with it. That's really the story tonight. The Pistons just stayed with it. They didn't pack it in. And that was one of the biggest takeaways for me from this game, is because normally Pistons of the past, you wouldn't see them involved in a lot of games that were games of runs, right? You would see the Pistons play well and they get hit in the face one time with one run, and that would be the end of it. It would get out of control, right? But we're seeing now more with our Pistons that when the other team goes on a run, the Pistons are still showing fight. They're still fighting back. And that's one of the biggest things I've seen all year from this team. And I credit a lot of that to JB Bickerstaff, because he has these guys believing that regardless of the scoreboard, they're never out of a game. And it seemed that way tonight. Everybody who played tonight gave effort, right? Everybody was getting on the floor for loose balls, rebounding the basketball, playing together, communicating on defense. Like, everything was based around defense tonight. They got some buckets to go late to go on a run, but it was all built on the foundation of playing tough defense. And it wasn't perfect, right? It wasn't perfect. They made a lot of mistakes, but the effort was there. The effort was there, and they continued to play for each other defensively. Offensively, man, it was a struggle. Other than Cade and Jalen Duren early, who played another solid game tonight, the Pistons just couldn't find the rhythm offensively. That was what made it tough for the Pistons early on. That and the fact that they just could not close quarters well at all. They closed the fourth quarter great, but the first, second, and third quarter, I believe the second and third quarter, they had the lead under 10 with a few minutes to go. And by the end of each quarter, the lead had ballooned to about 15, right? So every time they try to make a run, it would just get stifled. But despite that, like I mentioned, they continue to stay with it. Like I mentioned, man, the Kings are a solid team. Even though they were without Sabonis tonight, you can see the difference between them and the team like the Pistons. Even though the Pistons won this game, you can see a glaring difference. And that difference is consistency. You know, the Kings have had guys like De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, even ex-Piston Trey Lyles. These guys have been together for a couple of years. And it showed, right? The way the ball was moving offensively, especially in that fourth quarter, they were just moving the ball well. And you could just see they had familiarity with each other. And I think that was one of the biggest differences that made this game very, very tough for the Pistons, because the Pistons have had the opposite, right? They haven't had the same coach. They haven't had the same personnel. So the Pistons have had the opposite of what the Kings have had when it comes to consistency. But despite that, the Pistons' will and their fight helped them overcome that. And that's a great sign, because once this team does get that familiarity and chemistry and consistency together, if they keep that same mindset, it's going to take them a long way. Let's get to the box. Cade Cunningham, man, another all-star performance. He had 33 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 turnovers, 9 for 24 from the field, 4 of 11 from 3, 11 for 12 from the free throw line. So even though he didn't shoot it well from the field, he still made up for that by being efficient at the free throw line. 11 for 12, that's about 90%. So Cade was finding ways to still be effective on the court, right? He was still facilitating extremely well tonight. Once again, 10 assists to 3 turnovers. Once again, that's better than the 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. And that's what I always point to. So he's continuing to take care of the basketball, right? Everybody has a turnover here and there that's careless at times. That's fine. When you're putting up 10 assists, you can live with that. And aside from the stat sheet, man, Cade led tonight. His will, his fight, man, you could see him trying to inspire guys. Early on in this game, you could see him setting a tone. This is the second straight game now where he's gotten off to a good start, got to the free throw line in the beginning of the game. So you're seeing that Cade is becoming more and more aggressive, just setting the tone for his team and getting off to a good start And that's what he was able to do. Even when the Pistons went down double digits, 15, 17, 19 points in the third quarter, he still continued to fight. He still continued to play tough defense, man. He led by example, moving his feet, playing physical, getting into guys, playing good help side defense whenever it was needed. He was doing everything tonight. Cade Cunningham is the reason we were in position to win this game, because he would not let his guys quit. He would not let them quit. And when your star is playing that hard defensively, you don't have a choice but to meet that energy. And the Pistons responded. I have to give them credit, but it has to start with Cade, man. He was doing everything tonight, including leading his team. In the fourth quarter, he hit some big shots. He made some big plays. So for those who are saying that he's not a fourth quarter player or that he shies away in the fourth quarter, he's continued to show us that when it matters most, he's going to be the first team, and he was again tonight. I'm noticing now with Cade that from these last few games against the Suns and the Lakers, he's got that swag now. He's got that Anthony Edwards-esque swag now. He's not in your face like Ant, but he's carrying himself with the confidence he has in himself. It's becoming clear that he's becoming one of those guys, right? One of the guys in the NBA who everybody knows is the leader of their team and one of the best players in the league. He's slowly getting to that point and earning that respect around the league. And if the Pistons continue to win games the way they are, it's going to continue to become more and more evident. So I'm happy to see that he's starting to develop that. And he's starting to understand that he has to be that on the basketball court. And he's starting to understand the NBA game and what he has to be and how he has to do it on the basketball court. Jaden, man. It's such a good feeling, man, to see his hard work paying off. 4-point play to win the game for the Pistons. So the Pistons are down 3 with about 10 seconds to go. The ball swings to Jaden Ivey in the corner for a 3. He makes a shot and gets fouled. 4-point play to potentially put the Pistons up 1. Goes to the line, on the road, getting booed like crazy, with the game on the line, knocks down the free throw. Jaden Ivey really stepped up tonight, man. He didn't have it going offensively early, but the way he battled defensively, man, he had the tough assignment of guarding De'Aaron Fox tonight. And that is a handful, right? But he made him work for everything. He and Asar Thompson and a few other guys, but it was Jaden's primary assignment tonight. And he made things tough on him. But that shot he made was incredible. From the corner, double pump with contact in the air, that's a tough shot to make, man. With no backboard behind you, that's an extremely tough shot. But that's what Jaden does, man. He's a shot maker. And I want to say this too. The other night, it was Ron Holland, Dalton Connect, right? Tonight, it was Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray. The last few games have featured a few Pistons matching up against players in their draft class. And those games are always fun to watch, right? It's why Ben Mathurin always seems to have a little extra for Jaden, right? But these guys get up for these kind of games. Case in point, last season, against these same Sacramento Kings in Sacramento, Jaden dropped a career-high 37 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds, including 19 in the fourth quarter in a win. That game, last season, those flashes, and what was a very tough season for Jaden last year for obvious reasons, sent a reminder of what he can be in the future. Keegan Murray is a good player, smart, really good shooter, consistent, can fit in any offense, good player. But tonight, I was reminded of how happy I was that the Kings didn't draft Jaden at 4. To be fair, Keegan is honestly what I hope Tobias would be for this team, right? Just a consistent scoring presence, get you 16 to 18 points a game, not flashy, but effective, moving without the basketball, being a good floor spacer, knocking down open shots. Keegan Murray can provide those things on a consistent basis. But Jaden is a special talent, man. And those are harder to find in this league than good players like Keegan Murray. Jaden just needed the right coach, right? He needed the right coach with the right guidance. And I think he has that now. And we're beginning more and more to see just how high his ceiling is. He finished tonight with 19 points, 6 rebounds, 1 block, 3 turnovers on 7 for 13 shooting, 3-7 for 3, 2-3 from the free throw line, including the game-winning 4-point play. So shout out to my guy Jaden, man. He's put in so much work this offseason, and his confidence has never wavered. Despite everything that happened to him last season, he continued to stay the course. He continued to believe and trust in his faith, and it's continued to pay off for him. So shout out to him. I'm so proud of him and what he's been able to do this season. And he's just scratching the surface, man, of how good he's going to be. I can't wait to see how the rest of the season progresses for him, man. JD had 13 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 1 turnover, only 2 fouls, on 5 for 8 shooting, 3 or 4 from the free throw line. So a few things to say about JD, man. JD has been playing much better the last few games. He's doing so many things that we've all wanted to see, so much better. His effort has been way up. He's been knocking down his free throws. He's defending much better without fouling. He's rotating better. It doesn't seem like he's lost on defense nearly as often. He's screening better for Cade out of the pick and roll. He's just doing a lot of the little things so much better. There was a few times tonight where he was offensive rebounding in a crowd. 3 or 4 purple jerseys around him, but he was still coming up with the rebound. So his effort tonight was a welcome sight on both ends of the court. And because of his defensive effort, right, and finishing plays, not allowing too many offensive rebounds when he was in the game, he was getting rewarded, right? Cade was looking for him. He was catching lob after lob after lob. Cade had a couple of look-off passes to JD tonight that were just incredible. One was from the logo, and the other was on the break. And that play is becoming very tough to guard because you have no idea where it's coming from, especially on the break when you're trying to match up defensively. It's tough to guard. But JD was the beneficiary, man. And that's what I've said time and time again. If JD provides that consistent defensive effort and presence in the paint, Cade is going to find him. He is going to have opportunities offensively because Cade's going to make sure of it, right? We've seen Cade run the offense. We've seen him call out plays. So he's going to look for his guy if his guy is holding down defensively. It's just how it goes. So hopefully Jaden can keep this up, man, because he's been a presence for us. He hasn't been perfect. He's still been some mistakes here and there. I still want to see him doing less of this, right, after every call and just getting back on defense. And he's knocking down more and more of his free throws. So after starting the season shooting about 58%, it's a welcome sight to see that free throw percentage go up, and hopefully it stays that way, because if he keeps playing good defense, he's going to get more opportunities on offense, which means he's going to get more free throws. But once again, good game from JD tonight, man, with the second straight double-double. Just keep that consistency, and the Pistons are going to be in good shape. Tim Hardaway Jr. Has 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists on 2 of 8 shooting, 2 of 7 from 3. So we didn't get much from Tim tonight. Tim plays solid defense, but we didn't get too much offense from him tonight. He didn't shoot it well. 2 for 8 overall. His 2 makes for 3s. So I still feel like we need to look at upgrading that small forward spot, because there's been quite a few nights now where we haven't gotten much from Tim offensively or defensively. He has been taking charges defensively, so that effort is great to see. But like I mentioned, a lot of times him playing the 3 leaves the Pistons undersized. So I still think at some point the Pistons need to upgrade that spot, along with the power forward spot, which takes us to Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris had 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 of 7 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. This can't continue. This is the second straight game now where he struggled offensively and hasn't given us much defensively either. I've said this often this season, especially early in the season. When Tobias wasn't giving us consistent scoring early in the season, he was at least giving us, at times, double-digit rebounding games, right? Games where he had 2 steals or 2 blocks. But the rebounding was pretty much always there early on. He had a few double-doubles early in the season because of his rebounding, leading the team at times. But now, 3 rebounds, 4 rebounds, 2 rebounds, along with 6 points, 8 points, 10 points. And that's just not enough. We need to get one or the other as far as from every starter. Every starter needs to give us, impact-wise, either scoring or defense. At least one or the other. And we had 2 starters tonight who once again didn't give us either. The small forward spot and the power forward spot need to be looked at seriously as far as making a change, because you can't get off to good starts that way, right? We always talk about the Pistons setting a tone. We talked about Cade trying to set a tone for the game, right? It's hard to do that when at times you have 2 guys in your starting 5 who aren't giving you anything on either end of the court. You can't establish a tone that way. And offensively, the opposition is going to attack those matchups. They're just going to. We're undersized at both spots, and we're not getting enough of an impact on either end of the basketball court. So you have to make a change. I like both of those guys, but I'm looking at guys like Ron Holland. I'm looking at guys like Asar Thompson, guys who can rebound well for their size, guys who can play good perimeter defense and good help side defense, and guys who can get out on the break and give you easy offense. That's how you establish a tone defensively. It can't just be one guy or 2 guys. It has to be a team total effort. And getting off to good starts needs to be something that the Pistons focus on. But they're not going to be able to do it if they're not getting any impact or enough impact on either side of the court. And the Pistons have consistently not gotten that in their front court. And with Jalen Duren still coming along on the defensive end and finally getting into what appears to be a groove defensively, you can't rely on him every single night to be that anchor at this point. So you need to make sure that your other guys in the front court are going to be defensive anchors and going to give you that consistent presence defensively. Let's get to the bench. Malik Beasley, man. Malik Beasley, man. Oh my gosh. 22 points, 2 boards, 1 assist, 7 of 16 shooting, 6 of 11 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Instant offense, man. I've said it so many times, man. Malik Beasley is a serious candidate for 6th man of the year. The way he's scoring off the bench with consistency now, and the way he's knocking down the 3 ball with consistency now. I said this months ago. I think he's headed to the 3-point contest as well for All-Star Weekend. And I'm going to continue to say that because he's continuing to knock down shots and give the Pistons offense. There was a stretch in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, where the Pistons made their run, outscored the Kings 37-22 during their run, where he was just knocking down 3 after 3 after 3. And K could feel he was getting hot, so he just kept feeding him, and he just kept knocking it down. It was incredible. The most important offseason acquisition, Malik Beasley, by far. By far. He is going to continue to get shots up. He's going to continue to play with confidence. And he's becoming very, very reliable, having a career season. I still can't believe the Bucks just let him walk, especially with a star like Giannis who needs spacers. That was a mistake. The Bucks have made a habit now of making mistakes when it comes to the guards, but I'm not mad because he's with us now. Great night again from Beasley, man. He continues to impress, and we don't win this game without him. Paul Reed has 7 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 3 of 3 shooting, 1 of 1 from 3-point. Paul Reed has been impressive, man. He has been very, very impressive. He's filled in very, very well in the backup role with still being hurt. He didn't miss a shot tonight, but defensively, he continues to be a presence. Swatting shots, knocking shots back to the 3-point line, rotating well defensively, getting out on switches. Like, he's been doing everything defensively. He's really been a pretty solid anchor defensively for this team. And because he's so athletic, he makes guys think twice when they go into that painted area. So I love what the Pistons are getting from Paul Reed. He's definitely been a positive impact since he's been given consistent minutes. Asar Thompson has 7 points, 8 boards, 1 turnover on 3 of 5 shooting, 1 of 2 from the free throw line in 18 minutes. So Asar was solid. He didn't play a ton. The Pistons are obviously still taking their time with his conditioning, making sure they don't rush him. But I am noticing that he does seem to slowly be getting his win back because even though he's still playing about 2 to 3 minute stretches, he doesn't look nearly as gassed when he comes out of the game as he used to. And Asar was great on the boards tonight, man. He was all over the glass, getting offensive rebounds, offensive tip-ins. He's got bunnies, man. He gets so high in the air and he gets up quick. That's what allows him to get to the ball. Asar is one of those guys that he's not physically imposing, but he plays much bigger than he is. And because he's so athletic, he's able to really be a force on the glass. So the Pistons moved to 14-17 overall on the season now. Only 3 games back of 500. When was the last time the Pistons won 3 straight on the road? I gotta look that up. But things are looking up for the Pistons, man. The Pistons now have a chance to go 4-0 on the road trip against the Denver Nuggets. It's gonna be a tough game because Denver is still a contender in the Western Conference. So it's not gonna be easy. But the Pistons can't get it done. So we'll see what happens. But what did you guys see in tonight's game that I may have missed? Let me know in the comments and let's talk about it. I hope you guys all had a great holiday and everyone was safe, spent time with friends and family and all that good stuff. Appreciate you hanging with your boy. And as always, Detroit versus everybody. Peace.
Hotter than MTV and Y2K. You don't wanna see but that Y2K. Breaking records set by Michael J. Bringing glory days back to the future, Michael J. He's way ahead of his time, he's got a plan, yeah. Led off by none other than his brother Cannon. If this is more than a game, it's a passion. While they sleep, we working, close up my strength. Jaden Ivey on the way, kick that border ride. Electrifying through the air, a Detroit shot. And it doesn't really matter if you love him, like him, hate him. That boy is poison.